Hello, and welcome to A Chick with a Plan. That's me, Mary, and I love everything planning. The plan for this episode is to give you an update on the progress of my 12-week goal for the Manor Renovation Project. If you're new here, welcome. Last year in 2022, I started a huge project in renovating my old family home into a beautiful manor and event space. So if you haven't been following along the journey, I encourage you to watch the first episodes in this series to get caught up. I will leave the links below in the description box. Okay, in my last episode, I reviewed with you what I wanted to accomplish over the next 12 weeks for the Manor Renovation Project and what tasks I needed to accomplish each week to reach that goal. My overall 12-week goal is to have the construction drawings for the manor completed and ready to submit to the county for permitting. It's been 2 weeks since my last episode and kicking this 12-week plan off. So I will first review the tasks I've planned for each of those 2 weeks and if those tasks have been completed and what were the challenges. Now, at the beginning of this project, I decided to take you along this journey with me through the good, the bad, the ugly. I have some not so great news to report and some good news. And believe me, I had to ask myself, is it over before the meat of this project even begins? Okay, so let's dive in. For week 1, my planned task was to schedule a meeting with my banker so I could update her on the progress of the preliminary work that's been done on the project and start preparing for the loan application process. The not so great news, at least for me, is that my banker has accepted a great opportunity with another company and is no longer in the banking industry. The good news is that she is referring me to another person within the bank who I will be working with closely with on this project. But of course, I've already had a great standing relationship with this particular person. We've already talked about best options on our loans, our strategy, and just making sure I was prepared financially. Now I would just have to build a new relationship with this new banker. Now for my week 2, my construction manager, my architect, and I had the meeting with the Department of Permitting Services to check our zoning and permitting for the renovations and for the event venue business that would be operated at the manor. Once again, I received not so great news. In my previous episode regarding steps to opening an event venue business, I stressed how important it is to confirm with your county just on your property zoning and permitting requirements for both conducting renovations as well as opening an event venue business. And indeed, this was a critical meeting for us. So the not so great news is due to the zoning regulations in my particular area, my property does not fit the requirements to open an event venue business. To have an event venue business in my area, which is considered a rural area, we are required to have a minimum of 80 acres of land. My property is only 1 acre. But of course, I am a Plan B planner as well as my awesome architect and construction manager. Our Plan B, which was to open a bed and breakfast establishment and host small retreats and meetings under 12 or so people, did meet the requirements. And if a client would like to rent the manor for a large event, we would just be required to apply for a special permit for those instances. Obviously, this wasn't my original intent for this particular property, but after just further consideration, I feel God led me in this direction to open a bed and breakfast, as this will have less impact on my property versus an event venue space, which would of course entail a lot of maintenance and behind the scenes work. And this is very important as my mother and my brother will still be living on the property and will be helping to host the events. Now, the second news we discovered in our meeting with the county is that our renovation is no longer considered a renovation. Instead, it's a new construction. So apparently in my county, if the front facing wall to the street comes down, which in my case it will, is considered a new build. So I'm not sure how this will affect the type of loan I was considering, but this will be a conversation I will have to have with my new banker. Okay, so the next steps will be regrouping with my construction manager and architect to go over the next steps for the construction project of this manor, since we do not have, to worry about accommodating 60 attendees on the property. We will make some slight alterations to the concept drawings, which will actually help us lower the cost, which of course is a huge plus. So stay tuned for the next episode, in which I will review the next task, which will include updates on the concept drawings, the cost, and the timeline. The question is now, are we going to be able to meet our deadline in submitting these permits? So make sure to subscribe and hit that notification button so you can follow along with me on this journey. Okay, that's it for this episode. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Let's get to planning.